Yeah, hi Justin. Good morning to everybody. I was pretty much curious because it was mentioned already by one of the students how much capital would be ideal for you to actually be able to start up specifically with one product alone. Because I know very well that this is a long-term play. And as I was listening, I know it's not a fly-by-night operation that you expect to get rich immediately. I'm in it for the long term, in all honesty, and I'm sure everybody else is working nine to five, 9 to 6. I have two kids. I'm married, and I'm here to really. There's no turning back. The minute I've mentioned this with Chris, and finally I get to meet you. What's important to me here is that to just get a better understanding of how you could actually startup in the space because I'm not familiar with Amazon. In all honesty, I've heard about it, I've researched about it, but I've never launched a product online. Um, I'm a salesman by trade. I'm not a data analyst like Wayne, but nevertheless, I admire the space that it's being sold in. Of course, they're saying the market now is saturated. There's so many sellers online. Every day there are more sellers. I was researching last night. I was on a flight last night. I got in at almost 1 o'clock in the morning. So, but nevertheless, yeah, I just want to understand how can we launch our first product. Of course, you have to do your due diligence on the product, and how much does it really entail? How much capital would it be ideal for you to start? Aside from the program itself, meaning on the product itself alone, because you have to use all these avenues to sell it, like Helium, as Wayne was saying, and all these other ways of advertising it online. That's pretty much my
Yeah.
question.
Thank you, Miguel, for sharing, and props to you for showing up for your family. Having two kids is just like having two additional full-time jobs beside your jobs, and same being a husband, the wife, also just really great that you show up for yourself
You.
and your family. So when it's come to having a capital, just like understanding yourself, your finance is important because you don't want to run out of money in the middle of the road. Let's say if you're driving, and same with business, you don't want to run out of money while you're launching the product. So here's the how it looks is number one, I want you guys to write down the data is that because we're aiming for a product within 35 to $40 range, and it could be go up higher. But right now, let's say if the selling price of the product is about $40, the cost of product gonna be around 10 to $15 from manufacturer from China. So if because we're trying to do everything strategically to reduce the risk, so the first batch of product, we're trying to be conservative about 2 to 300 pieces. So with 200 to 300 pieces and multiply, let's say by $10, that 2,000 to $3,000 in product cost, right? And number two is the shipping costs from China to Amazon warehouse. Because we recommend to sell small and lightweight product, usually about brick size or less. The shipping cost ranging about $4 to $5 per piece by air. So get that data down so that you can start crunching those numbers. So $4 to $5 per unit. So let's say 200 units, that is about close to $1,000. But keep in mind, you can also ship it by sea, and by sea shipping, it's gonna be only like $1 to $2, but it's gonna take longer time. Okay. So let's say in the beginning, if you ship out your products, if you want to maximize on reducing the cost, I recommend to split shipping your product. Shipping, let's say 50 unit by air so that you can save money and then the rest by sea. So by air, it will take about 2 weeks to arrive to Amazon warehouse. By sea shipping, it will gonna take about a month. So if you do it that way, think of it this way. But both of them shipping out at the same time, just different method. The air gonna arrive first, and by the time the air arrive, like a week later or two, the sea shipping arrive. But by doing it, you save a significantly amount already because you only do 1/3 of the batch. So meaning you save almost like 60% of uh, the remaining two-third, right? So that's how we save money through strategy. And you can do that for shipping and more shipping to come. So come back to my point, that shipping cost number two, let's say conservatively at $1,000. Shipping cost number three is the software. It may like Helium 10 is about $100. And then sell a board to manage your data is another like $30. Those are the main fixed costs that you would need in terms of software, like the basic for you to understand data and collecting data to make decision. The next cost is the IP accelerator. Think of it this way is IP accelerator, it just you sign up with Amazon to where Amazon gives you that exclusive um, opportunity to market your product better with more photo and video and running more advanced advertising. And that costs about 1,000 to 1,500. But think of it as an investment because every money that you spend toward marketing, if you can get a return on investment, it's always a smart idea. Because why? Um, because now it is true that on Amazon, more and more new seller coming into it and more savvy seller also on there. So you have to set the bar at the standard of most people and above the 99%, the 90%. A good example here is, let's say in the dating market, if everyone around you, they are advertising themselves as a guy with a nice car, nice home, you want to do the same thing. Nice car, nice home, nice social media so that you can attract the girl. That's considered marketing. So IP accelerator, that could cost you about $1,000, $1,000, but it's optional. Okay. It's optional because you can do two-way. You can do real, you can give so much value to the customer to where they don't even bother looking at your, like all the things that you share. Because just like in the Chinese seller, they have the ugliest listing, but they just sell the product as so much value. Just the product itself become like an insta soul. So they're two-way, okay? Two-way that you can do. If you go with without the IP accelerator and just focus on the product, then it can save you $1,000. And then later on, let's say if you do the bare minimum and if it still sell, and then you can do more. But for us, for our student, we recommend to do IP accelerator because it's just a long-term asset. It's a long-term asset for you and you get more chance to success by running a more advanced PPC. And lastly, you just dedicate $1,000 for Amazon advertising. Amazon advertising, $1,000 for it. Because on your first batch of product, let's say 200 unit, pretty much is like $5 on advertising per unit. And if you can make a sales, it pay for itself. And dedicate maybe $500 more on influencer marketing, 500 to 1,000. So we're trying to use most of our ammo toward marketing. Because if you don't market your product, you cannot make a sale. No sales, no business. So we dedicate most of the ammo into marketing and the product. So roughly about five, six, based on the number that I gave you, how much have you came into mind right now, Miguel?
Yeah, well, I was actually honestly taking notes while we were talking. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, I was looking at you're putting in at least 500 to 1K on influence marketing. You're
Uh-huh.
doing 1,000 on Amazon advertising. Well, you have the option of doing it two ways, but as you were saying, if you do it through IP accelerator, it's going to be easier to do that. I think we want to market smartly, right? I mean, time is
Mhm.
money, and sometimes you have to spend the cost to actually be able to really achieve the sales. So adding up everything easily, that's I'm computing here practically roughly at around 2 to 3 thousand, around $5,000 in total so far, right? Easily
Yep.
around $5,000. Well,
Mhm.
that's pretty much what I expected, and I computed practically because thank you for that, Justin. I appreciate the transparency and the honesty because these numbers are very important so that at least when we enter, I'm very interested to do the program. I'm honestly preparing for the program. It's just getting a better understanding of how you market your products online. It's getting a better understanding of how to really be out there in the space to be able to capitalize on your product because there's so many people selling on Amazon, right? There's millions of products in Amazon, and I think my only concern here is one, if the market is saturated, two, because there's always that problem of being able to have inventory, not be able to sell the inventory, because there's a lot of nightmare stories where people are stuck with inventory and they buy products and they're not able to sell online, which is why thank you for your honesty on
Mhm.
these expenses. And I understand that it's necessary for you to really spend for the marketing aspect of it. And thank you.
Yeah,
You actually you answered all my questions,
yeah.
Justin. Thank you very much.
And you're welcome. And I do want to give some very, very important data that you guys need to pay attention. So make sure that you do because it could make or break your business. Is number one is that the variable, the data that would vary is like your product cost. Because some like I share is that the more higher ticket that you go, the more upfront investment that you would have to make. Let's say if you go after product that is like double the selling point, meanings you would have to double your capital investment on the product cost itself. And same with the sizing of the product. If you go for a higher product size, like bigger and larger, heavier, then the cost of shipping gonna be way more as well. And same with the market size. If you go to market to where a lot of new or like heavy competitor, then the cost of advertising you would have to eventually double. So I would say play with a conservative number because just like in life, you want to have 6 months of reserve for your life, right? Same with Amazon. What happened if you run out a budget? Do you have that extra can of gas in the back of your seat just in case? And also watching the standard of your competition. Think of it this way. Just like in your 9 to 5 job, if you are a programmer and everyone in there is just learn about C++, you have to have that skill. So in term of Amazon, if every competitor they do have A plus listing or like because A plus listing is a benefit that you get through IP Accelerator. If all of them have that, meanings you would have to have that. You have to match the bar and more. Okay. You have to match the bar and then you're gonna through your product offer, the add-on items. Keep in mind the add-on item could also cost a little bit more too. So that's why I have an extra uh, few $1,000 extra set aside that could help you to making sure that you don't run out of gas. And remember that is stage one. Stage one. Stage two is what happened if your product offer met the market demand, like your proof of concept work. Do you have capital or like raising capital? Do you have access to people so that you can double down to grow your business? Because Amazon is a capital play. You need capital. So that's why have a list of people that you can borrow, like you can raise capital in case or credit line. Like for me, I get the privilege to tap into like credit card with 0% interest and I use it to my advantage. But for some people, they would not have that. Then asking yourself, who else in my list of friend that could be potentially interested in selling on Amazon that I can partner with in the beginning for like 50-50 so I can minimize the risk. Or someone that has a lot of money and they just so believing in me and then let's say let me borrow their money first for let's say a few percentage and then if things working out and if they happy with me and I'm happy with them in the future I can let's say hey um can I give you an equity share of my company? Because now all the data is proven. Do you want the interest or do you want a percentage of my company with the potential if that person can funnel you more and more money in the long run? So that's stage two of growing.
Thank you for that, Justin. I appreciate it. I mean, that's really thinking out of the box and getting creative. Because I think what's important here is to be able to keep investing your profits and buying more products and being able to eventually doubling down. Because the more product you probably have out there, it was good insights in the sense that if it's a smaller product, you have a smaller cost, larger product, larger cost. I think these are things that you learn in the course of time. But yeah, thank you for all your information shared. I think those are pretty much my utmost concerns, and I have a better understanding and a clear understanding of what it really is now from here onwards. Thank you for that. Appreciate it. Thank you,
Anytime.
brother.
You're welcome. Why? Because if you make mistake on that, if you pick the wrong product or like large product, you're gonna be down under $1,000 to $2,000 in just shipping costs alone. Because you and then also like inventory because during the time when Amazon, there's so many variable that changing. Because let's say during the upcoming holiday season, usually the the um, the storage fee gonna be more expensive. Same with shipping costs. Because every manufacturer, like every seller, they trying to get their inventory to Amazon early. And then you don't want to wait until like Q4 to start finding a product and ship your product to Amazon because during that time, there's gonna be a congestion of ship container. Just like holidays season, everyone trying to get home, so there's gonna be traffic. So plan accordingly, also help you save money. Let's say right now is a perfect time to look for product and start testing. So by the time holiday season coming in, it's a guarantee that you will sell out. No doubt on it. Because Amazon, they spend so much money for holiday season to bring people to their mall. So I never seen a seller that not sell out during the holiday season of Q4, quarter four, and beginning of quarter three. So right now is the perfect time for you to test at a cheaper cost. You don't want to wait until Q3 or Q4 to go in because at that time it's gonna be expensive. Just like you know that if you book the close to the time for the flight ticket, it's always more expensive. It's the same way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So
That's
there's
that's
so
awesome
many variables.
insights.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
many
thank you for that.
variable, and you don't want to wait until the last minute. Now is a good time for you to start finding product and just test it out. You learn more, and then you get a cheaper cost. And also your product cost, you buy it at the bottom price, you're not gonna lose money on it. The only time that you lose money in on dumb marketing mistake. The PPC is like it took me over really 1 years and a half to really master it. It's like a college degree on PPC advertising. Imagine if you don't know where to market, how to market. You're pretty much throwing your money out of the window. Most of the Amazon sellers, they fail, not because of they spend money on that product and stuff. They fail because they overspend money on marketing and not seeing a result. And they keep telling themselves that, hey, if I can stick to it, I would make it. But they already wrong from the start. That's why I have people like lost like $30,000 just on marketing before they join the program because they think that stay consistent is correct. Yes, but if you know that the wall is in front of you, no matter how much effort that you do, you will not make it. So the biggest pitfall for most people is marketing. So learn marketing, spend a lot of time learn about marketing. Otherwise, you will make a like fatal mistake on that. And let's talk
Right.
about liquidating. Because you buy the product at a bottom price, there's no lower bottom. So let's say the worst scenario, if your product offer is not strong enough, you can still liquidate the product at uh, liquidation price, shipping price plus product cost. sell it on like Facebook groups, you can still easily recoup your initial investment back. But if you do marketing wrong, it's never a go back. There's never a return ticket on the marketing. So just to let you know that if I were to go in, pay attention to marketing. All right.
Thank you
So
for
thank
that,
you again
Justin.
for your question.